plane, okay? Okay, so the Cartesian plane is just like another fancy term for when we talk about quadrants and things like that. So, you can represent ordered pairs of real numbers by points in a plane called a rectangular coordinate system or the Cartesian plane. So, nothing new. Where's quadrant 1 on here? Upright. Good. So 1, where's 2?
Down. Over.
Top left.
Yep.
3 is here, and 4 is here. So you're going to have to be able to identify what quadrants, what?
I always want to start by saying 1 is where 2 is.
1 is where 2 is.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you usually read left to right, and so you're thinking that way. Right. But, no, in math, they decided to do it this way. Okay. So quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to have to be able to identify what points are in what quadrants and what's going on there. You're going to have to be able to plot points. Let's say I have the points -1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 7. I don't know what else. 0, 0. 3, 0, and 2, -6. Okay? Let's say I have all those points. Where do I plot -1, 2? What quadrant would it fall in? Under 2, because I would go -1 here and then +2, so it's in quadrant 2. Where does 3, 4 fall in? What quadrant? 1. Okay, so I go 3, I go 4. Where does 0, 7 fall? Technically not 1. It falls on the y-axis, yes. What about 0, 0? The origin. 3, 0? X-axis, and 2, -6, fourth quadrant, okay? So you're going to have to be able to plot points and identify what quadrants they're in. So if you just label your quadrants for me on your homework like this, and then you plot the points, you can go ahead and call that naming what quadrant it's in when they tell you to plot and name the quadrant. So you can just do it that way and save yourself some time. The next thing we want to talk about and learn is how to sketch scatter plots. Okay, with scatter plots, you take the data and you just plug all the points in, and then you try to make a line that fits it best. We're going to actually do that on our graphing calculator, so that we don't have to do it by hand, and it makes it a little bit easier. Turn to page 47, because I need you to copy down a chart for me.
Can I go in my locker?
Do you need a book?
Yes.
Here. Page 47. Okay, so page 47. In example 2, it has a scatter plot that says year T, employees E, and it has 2004 through 2013 under T, and it has 760, and the last number is 870 in employees. When we go to plug this stuff into our graphing calculator, here's what I suggest to you. If you have years like 2004, instead of plugging in the number 2004, why wouldn't you plug in 4 for the year 2004, 5 for 2005, 6 for 2006, so on and so forth, until you get to where you need. So by the time you get to 2013, the number you plug in is 13. It just makes it easier. I'm still going to plug in the 700s and 800s over in the y-axis, but here's how you do it. You have to hit stat, that button that says stat, and you're going to go to, well, first we need to, let me think about this, if you have anything going on. No, I don't think you have anything in your data plot. So press edit, and it should take you to a screen that has L1, L2, and L3 in it like
Well,
this.
what do I do after I hit on?
Hit the button that says stat,
Yep.
okay? And then hit enter on number 1, and it should take you to something that looks like this.
Yeah.
Okay, and everything's blank in there right now? Okay, yours isn't, because of mine. So
Yeah,
Lindsay,
this isn't mine, so it
Okay.
definitely has numbers.
so hit stat,
Okay.
go down to the one that says clear list, and then you're going to press second and the number 1 to clear the first list and press enter. Then you have to go back and do L2 as well. And then go back to that chart and see if it works.
Yes.
Okay, so now when it's, okay, so now we can put data in. Under L1, you're going to put the stuff that represents the year, T. And like I said, I would just start with, I would just start with 4 if I were you, because it's gonna make it easier to figure out later on when you have to do something else. So go ahead and put that data in.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
We used to do like 4, 6.
Yeah, just do 4 and then press the arrow down, 5, 6, 7, keep pressing the arrow down.
For L2, do you put employees?
What?
For L2, do you put the employees?
Yes, for L2, you're gonna put the actual number of the employees for me. You're entering 4 through 13 into L1, and then when you go to L2, you're gonna, after you do all that data, press the over arrow, go to L2 and put the actual data in that shows on the page.
Like 100, 200, 300, 400.
No. On L2, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
You're putting 760, 774.
Okay, I see.
Okay.
What if you like accidentally doing the bottom chart by accident?
That's fine. Yours is just gonna look different than ours. It's okay. Okay. Once you get that data in, you're going to press the button that says graph. Now, it might not graph it right for you, and we're going to talk about how to fix that. But press the button that says graph when you get that. Oh, yes, it didn't graph. Okay, because we got to turn on the stat plots. Okay,
Now, where is that button?
with the one that says graph,
Yeah,
it's,
I see.
and I'm assuming that you probably didn't get a graph, did you?
No.
Okay.
I hit stat font. And it
Okay.
popped up with stuff I don't know.
That's fine. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to hit second, the second button, and you're going to hit the y equals, because above it, it says stat plot. We want to create a stat plot. So you hit second, y equals.
Stat plot.
Okay.
Stat plot.
Yes, you want to press enter on number 1 and turn it on. That means,
It already says on.
okay, then that means we have to change your window, which we'll talk about in a second. You're going to go to number 2, and you're also going to turn it on. Okay? You want it on.
And number 3.
No, you don't need number 3 because we didn't put anything in list 3. We only put stuff in list 1 and in list 2.
That's cool.
So,
I don't think I did it right
Okay?
so I just hit enter now?
When you go to on, you just hit enter to highlight it. Yes, it has to be highlighted. Now,
Oh, God.
we need to hit that button that says window.
How do you go back?
though. Yeah.
What do you mean, how do you go
I
back?
hit graph and
Okay, once it stops graphing, just go and hit the button window. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So hit the button that says window. Okay? Your window says X minimum, X maximum, X scale. Okay? We gotta start there. What number did we start with for X? What number was in list 1 right here? This is my X.
4.
Okay, 4. And what was the largest number we had in there?
13.
13. So what we're gonna do is for my X minimum, I'm gonna go ahead and put 0 in there, just so that I have something before 4. Okay? I'm gonna put 0 in there. Then I'm gonna go to X max, and I'm gonna go to 15, so that it's a little bit above my highest. And I'm going to count the X scale, I'm gonna leave at 1, because it's gonna count by ones. Okay. The y minimum, what is the smallest number in our chart for y? what did you say? Well, okay, yours is different. 760,
That's crazy.
okay? And what is the largest number in my y? 870. Okay, so I'm going to put in for my y minimum, 740, so I'm a little under what it was. For my maximum, I'm gonna put in 890, so I'm a little bit above. What do you think would be a good number to count by here? 10? Okay, let's plug in 10 for the y scale. Now, press graph. Do you get something with little boxes going up? Okay, something with little boxes going up? That is a scatter plot.
Alright, let's take a step back now.
Okay, good. And then we're gonna count by tens.
You got your graphing calculator?
See, this was Bryce's student's calculator, Anna
Nope,
Faye's
it's not
calculator.
calculator.
So,
Okay, smart
Okay,
aleck.
let me
I'm not sure
Well,
what's
why-
going on with it.
Calculator peaked out and restarted, so now.
Or did you just clear it by accident?
No.
Let me see, let me double check here.
Maybe I woke up and then I fell back to sleep.
Okay, so that should work.
This would be.
Your table's at 0, 15, 1, 7, 40, 90. You're counting by tens. That should work. So the question is, what? Oh, okay. I know why. Yours has something else turned on that I need to turn off. Hers is set up a little bit different. Probably because they were doing a different type of print. There we go. I had to change what graph they had showing up for it. Okay, so you should have, you just need to make sure that they're both turned on.
Actually, not even that muscular. Why did you?
You should be good to go. Change the light.
Because it's on
Okay.
muscles, they don't have
So you,
it.
yes,
At one point.
yes.
I'm sure where it
You're
was.
just jealous 'cause you don't have one.
What?
It looked more like this one if you got by.
Yeah, if you graph by 100,
No, it's like 40.
if you graph by 100, it would look more like the book one. But I like this one because it's closer together and you can see more what's happening. So here, the problem as the number of employees E in thousands in dentist offices in the United States from 2004 through 2013 are shown in the table where T represents the years. Sketch a scatter plot of the data by hand. So if you go ahead and put this into your graphing calculator, you can then transfer it into a scatter plot very easily. Okay? The reason we need to know how to put this into our graphing calculator is because eventually we're going to come back here and create a line through this and figure out what the equation of that line is without having to do it by hand. No, let's start there today. Trust me on that. Okay? The other thing you need for tonight's homework is the distance formula. Who remembers what the distance formula is?
Oh.
B
Yeah,
squared.
B something. B something.
Squared.
No, the
It's not B.
D equals the square root of x 1 minus x2
Oh.
squared
What was I
plus
saying?
y1 minus y2 squared
Yeah, what is it? B?
Oh, I was doing quadratic form.
quadratic. Okay, so distance formula we're going to need to know. We also need to know Pythagorean theorem. What is Pythagorean theorem?
A squared plus B squared equals C.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared, where the C squared is always what part of my triangle?
The longest.
The hypotenuse. So if I have this triangle like this, my C squared is always here, and then my A and B are whatever sides. It doesn't really matter. Okay? So you're going to need to know how to do that. So if they give us 2 points, say they give you -2, 1, and they give you the point 3, 4, and they say, what's the distance?
I was trying to take them out. It's like, oh,
How would I figure out what the distance is of that? Plug the points in to this formula here. So I say distance equals the square root of, and I'm going to do -2 minus 3 squared plus 1 minus 4 squared. Negative 2, negative 3 is negative 5 squared plus negative 3 squared, right? So I get 25 plus 9, so I get the square root of 34, right? Square root of 34.
Interesting.
Okay, the square root of 34. Which you can leave that way, or you can put 5.83, which is what it's congruent to. Okay. So otherwise, that's where we're gonna stop today. We'll talk about midpoint theorem tomorrow. And we'll talk about equations of circles tomorrow. Okay.
That's the champ for today. Keep on, baby.
Yeah.